In Willow Creek, nothing bad was supposed to happen until I found her, floating in the river. They called me a witness. Then they called me a suspect. Someone began watching me, leaving notes on my door. But I wasn't alone anymore. A stranger appeared. She knew more about the dead girl than anyone else. Together we uncovered a secret buried deep inside this town. A secret protected by someone no one would ever suspect. Now, I'm not just fighting for the truth. I'm fighting to stay alive. The town of Willow Creek was the kind of place where nothing bad was ever supposed to happen. People left their doors unlocked, neighbors borrowed sugar without asking, and gossip traveled faster than the morning church bells. But all of that changed on a cold October morning, the day they found the body in the river. My name is Emily Carter, 29 years old, third grade school teacher at Willow Creek Elementary. I wasn't supposed to be anywhere near Miller's River that morning. I hate cold weather, I hate mud, and I definitely hate mornings. But my dog, Bailey, had different plans. She barked relentlessly at 6:03 a.m., scratching the door like her life depended on it. All right, I'm up," I groaned, shoving on my hoodie and mismatched socks. The grass was still wet with dawn when I stepped outside. The sky was painted in shades of blue and purple, the type of beauty small towns brag about. Bailey tugged hard on the leash, pulling me toward the riverbank behind my house. "Seriously? You've peed here 1,000 times," I complained. But she didn't stop. She whined, she pulled, she barked frantically, and then I saw it. At first I thought it was just a log tangled in weeds, but logs don't have hands, they don't float face down with hair billowing in the current. My heart froze. A woman's body. Dear God. I stumbled back, hand shaking as I pulled out my phone. My voice trembled as I called 911. "There's a body in the river, behind Maple Lane. Please hurry." Within minutes, the quiet riverbank turned into a circus of flashing red and blue lights. Police cars, an ambulance, yellow tape. It didn't look like Willow Creek anymore. It looked like one of those crime shows I used to watch before bed. Sheriff Daniel Brooks arrived first. Mid-40s, grumpy, always chewing gum like it owed him money. "Emily," he frowned. "You found her?" I nodded, arms wrapped around myself to stop shaking. "I was just walking Bailey. I didn't touch anything." "It's all right," he said, his rough voice softer for a moment. "Just stay back." They pulled the body from the river. I turned away before I could see her face, but I heard the whispers around me. "Who is she? Is that blood? Do you think it was an accident?" "No, no way. Accidents don't look like murder. Don't look." An hour passed. They finally confirmed her identity. The dead woman was Rachel Turner. My breath caught. Rachel had been a substitute teacher at my school last year. Sweet, soft-spoken, always bringing cupcakes to the staff room. She wasn't from town. She had moved here only 8 months ago. She didn't deserve this. "Emily?" Sheriff Brooks walked over, expression unreadable. "You knew her, right?" Yes. She worked at the school. She was always kind. She wasn't the type of person to get into trouble." The sheriff's jaw tightened. Everyone's the type when it comes to secrets. Something about the way he said it made me uneasy, like he already suspected something, like he was looking at me just a little too carefully. I was taken to the station for a statement. Not arrested, just questioned. But the walls felt too white, the air too cold. A metal table, 2 chairs, a box of tissues placed in the middle like a warning. Sheriff Brooks clicked on a recorder. "Emily Carter, you were the only person at the river when the body was discovered?" "Yes." "You didn't see anyone else nearby?" "No." "You didn't hear anything? Footsteps, a car, anything unusual?" I shook my head. "I swear I just found her. I had nothing to do with—" "We're not accusing you," he said calmly. "Just gathering facts." But his eyes said something different. He didn't trust me. By the time I got home, the town already knew. That's the thing about Willow Creek. News travels faster than police reports. At the grocery store, Mrs. Henderson stared at me over the apples like I was contagious. At the gas station, 2 teenagers whispered loudly enough for me to hear. That's her, she found the body. Or put it there. My hands clenched. My heart pounded. How quickly sympathy turns into suspicion. It was late evening when I returned home. I was exhausted, mentally drained, ready to collapse into bed. But when I reached my front porch, there was a note taped to my door. No name, no envelope, just 5 words written in red ink. Stop digging or you're next. My blood turned to ice. I slowly looked around. No one in sight. Just the sound of crickets. But I felt it. Someone was watching me. I barely slept that night. The note on my door, "Stop digging or you're next," burned in my mind like fire. Every creak of the floor, every rustle outside my window felt like footsteps coming closer. Bailey slept beside my bed, but even she kept growling softly at the open window. I closed the curtains, locked the doors twice, sat with my back against the wall, knees against my chest. I wasn't a detective. I wasn't brave. I was just a school teacher who fed stray cats behind the cafeteria and taught kids how to spell butterfly. So why was someone warning me to stop, unless they thought I knew something? But I didn't. Did I? My mind twisted with questions until exhaustion dragged me into sleep. The next morning at Willow Creek Elementary, everything looked normal, but felt different. Whispers traveled faster than pencils being sharpened. That's her. The one who found the body. Maybe she knew the victim too well. I pretended not to hear. I stood in front of my classroom smiling like everything was okay, speaking letters that my tongue barely formed. A is for apple. B is for... My voice caught. At the classroom door stood a woman I had never seen before. Tall, dark brown hair tied in a loose bun, black coat, cold eyes observing me like I was a specimen under glass. Not a parent, not a teacher. I froze mid-sentence. She didn't smile. She didn't blink. She just, watched. By the time recess came, she was gone. But I knew. That wasn't a coincidence. After school, I walked to my car, clutching my bag like a shield. The sky was getting dark early, autumn clouds swallowing the sun. I unlocked the door. You shouldn't go home alone. The voice came from behind me. I spun around. It was her, the same woman from the doorway. Who are you? I demanded, trying to stand tall even though my legs were shaking. She stepped closer, calm, controlled, like a storm disguised as silence. My name is Clara Hayes, she said. I'm looking into Rachel Turner's death. A detective? Not officially. Then what are you? She paused, and for a second something raw flickered in her eyes. Let's just say, I knew Rachel, better than most. I didn't know what to say. She reached into her coat. I flinched, but she only pulled out a small photograph. It was Rachel, laughing, with Clara's arm around her. We were close, Clara said softly. Then her voice hardened. And that's why I'm going to find out who did this to her. She looked straight into my eyes, which means I need to know, what exactly did you see that morning? Doubt takes root. Her question pierced through me. Not what I saw, but if I was lying. You think I did it? I whispered. Clara didn't answer immediately, which was worse than if she had screamed yes. Instead, she said slowly, I think Rachel trusted people too easily, so I won't.
She slipped the photograph back into her coat and walked away. But halfway across the parking lot, she stopped, turned, and said, Emily, until I know the truth, don't trust anyone, not the sheriff, not your friends, not even me. Then she was gone, leaving me with a truth more terrifying than the note on my door. I wasn't just being watched, I was being tested.
That night I sat on my couch, lights off, staring at Rachel's name on my phone screen. I had her number saved from when she once substituted in my class. My thumb hovered over the call button, her voicemail, a voice I'd never hear again. Instead, I opened my messages. No texts from her, except one, sent 3 weeks ago. I had never noticed it. My hands trembled as I clicked. Emily, are you awake? That was it. No reply from me. She had reached out, and now she was dead. Tears blurred my vision. Why had she messaged me that night? What was she going to say? Did she know she was in danger? My phone buzzed suddenly in my hand. Unknown number. I hesitated before answering. Hello? Silence. Then a voice, low, distorted, whispering. You're asking the wrong questions, Emily. My blood ran cold. Who is this? You found her body. Now stop before you join her. Click. The line went dead. I dropped the phone. My breathing was loud. Too loud. And through the window, across the street, a silhouette stood by the lamppost, unmoving, watching. Not Clara, not the sheriff, someone else, someone waiting. The shadow outside my window disappeared before I could gather the courage to look twice. But I knew one thing now. Someone didn't just want me quiet. Someone wanted me gone. That night I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I decided one thing. If I was going to die, I'd die knowing the truth. Searching Rachel's past. The next morning, I drove to Rachel's old apartment. It had been sealed off with police tape, but the back window latch was loose. Maybe someone had opened it before. Or maybe Rachel left it like that, expecting someone. Inside, everything was quiet. Too quiet. No signs of a struggle. No blood. No broken glass. Just a scent. Vanilla perfume. Someone else had been here recently. I walked to her desk and found a drawer slightly open. Inside, like a USB drive. My heart pounded. I pocketed it and turned to leave. The door creaked. Footsteps, heavy, slow. I froze. Then a voice whispered behind me. You shouldn't be here, Emily. Clara's revelation. I spun around. Clara. She shut the door behind her. I backed away, unsure whether to feel relieved or terrified. You followed me? I asked. I knew you'd come here, she replied calmly. Rachel trusted you. That means she left something for you. Did you find it? I hesitated. She noticed. Give it to me. No. Her eyes widened a little. Surprised. Emily. Someone killed her. That same someone is watching you. If we don't act now, they'll... I interrupted sharply. You warned me not to trust anyone. Why should I trust you? There was silence. Then she said softly, because Rachel was my sister. My breath caught. She didn't use my last name, Clara continued. She kept things separate, for safety. For safety from who? I whispered. Clara looked toward the window, jaw clenched. Someone you wouldn't suspect. Someone close. Someone who wanted her gone. Connecting the clues. We sat at Rachel's kitchen table. I plugged in the USB drive to my laptop. There were audio recordings. Secret ones. Rachel's voice came through, shaky, scared. If anything happens to me, it's because I found out the truth. He's been stealing from the school, using fake accounts in the children's names. I froze. School, children's names, fake accounts. Clara whispered. She discovered someone was moving money through student charity funds, small amounts, so no one would notice. The recording continued. I confronted him. He smiled and said no one would believe me. He said I should disappear. Then silence. Clara looked at me. Emily, who handles the school charity accounts? My stomach twisted. Mr. Howard, the quiet, soft-spoken school accountant. The man who always brought donuts and smiled politely. The one everyone ignored. The one no one would suspect. The final confrontation. We drove straight to the school office. It was late evening. The building was empty, except his car was still there. Clara loaded her gun. "Stay behind me." We entered the hallway slowly, lights flickering, silence crushing us. Then, a voice. Calm. Familiar. "I was wondering when you'd figure it out." We turned. Mr. Howard stood at the end of the hallway. Not smiling this time. His eyes were cold. Empty. Like he'd been dead inside long before Rachel ever was. "You killed her," I whispered. He tilted his head slightly. "She wouldn't stay quiet. I gave her a chance." He stepped closer. "I was going to leave this town soon, retire somewhere quiet, but then you found her body, and you just couldn't stay out of it, could you, Emily?" My blood froze. He knew where I lived. He left that note. He was the shadow. Clara raised her gun. "Hands where I can see them." Howard laughed softly. "You won't shoot. You're just like your sister, always trying to save people." Then he lunged forward. There was a gunshot. Then another. He fell. Clara stood trembling, gun smoking in her hand. "It's over," she whispered. The aftermath police arrived minutes later. Statements were taken. Evidence was found. Rachel's recordings exposed everything. Mr. Howard had been stealing money for years. He killed Rachel to keep her silent. He tried to scare me next, but he failed. One last goodbye. A week later, Clara and I stood by the river where Rachel was found. The water flowed gently this time. Peaceful. "Thank you," Clara said quietly. "For what?" I asked. "For not giving up when you had every reason to." I smiled faintly. "That's what teachers do." She laughed softly. Then we both released white flowers into the river. For Rachel. For peace. For closure. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.